As we all know, your wedding day is a big deal. You wanna look good, feel good, and have the energy to enjoy every second of it. But let's be honest, getting in shape can feel very overwhelming, especially while planning a wedding. So today I'm bringing on a very close friend of mine. His name is Ryan, and he is a personal trainer. He's gonna go ahead and share 10 simple things that you can focus on to feel your absolute best on your wedding day.
All right, guys, I wanted to kind of go over the 10 essentials as far as losing weight, losing body fat, gaining muscle, whatever it might be in order to get ready for your wedding. So number one, we're gonna be talking about dedicated cardio. It's gonna scare a lot of people just because that word terrifies every single person, but it doesn't have to be that hard. If you just do a little bit of incline treadmill, track your steps, maybe getting about 10 to 12,000 a day, that's realistically a great start. And then what we do is we essentially amplify it each week, not by big margins, but maybe 5-10 minutes, just to make sure that we're progressing week by week. Number two, we're gonna be tracking your calories. Now, calories in, calories out is a very big conversation in the community. And so when we're talking about losing weight, we have to create a deficit for ourselves. And that does not mean you have to starve yourself. You just have to create a small enough deficit to where you're gonna gradually lose week by week. Now, if you got a wedding in 2 months, that's not gonna be the option. But if you get ahead of the pack, maybe start 6 to 8 months out, you're gonna have a long time to really pull that off without really having to change much about your life. Number three, we're gonna be talking about proper supplementation. And for most people out there, they're gonna be deficient in things like D3, K2, vitamin C, magnesium, very essential building blocks as far as repairing, building muscle, and also just recovering your body. And so utilizing the right supplements is gonna be a very big point moving forward. Number four, resistance training. That's the scary part, right? But it doesn't have to be that way. You don't have to go barbell bench 4 times a week. You don't have to squat with a barbell. You don't even have to touch a barbell. The point is you gotta create stimulus so that the muscle can grow, it can break down and build stronger, and you're also gonna be burning that fat at a lot higher rates because you're utilizing more calories to lift than you're going to be doing cardio. Number five, we're gonna be talking about macro balance. That is gonna be one of my biggest portions when it comes to focusing in on losing fat or gaining muscle, I should say. And that's because gaining muscle, we're gonna need a ton of carbs. When it comes to losing fat, we need to take those away slowly. Now, they're not your enemy when you're losing fat, but you can't have too much because that creates a surplus, meaning we're gonna gain weight rather than lose. Number six, we're gonna have proper hydration. I know almost everybody on the planet stinks at this, myself included, but if you drink enough water, you're gonna be able to build muscle correctly because you're gonna need X amount of water for X amount of carbs in order to actually build that muscle. You're also gonna need water to repair your systems, internal organs. Your liver's not gonna work if it doesn't have hydration. Same thing with the rest of your organs. And so we gotta make sure we're taking care of the body in that way. Or number seven, I should say, track your progress. I know taking pictures of yourself when you're not quite in the best of shape is not an easy thing. I did it for months and months on end, and it stunk. I didn't like the way that I looked, but nowadays I look back and I'm like, holy smokes, look how far we've come. When you track your progress, especially when it comes to actually documenting the weights that you're utilizing, when we're talking about the stretches that we're doing, the calories that we're eating, when you're documenting these things, you can actually create a pattern and learn what your body is capable of. And you can also learn next time you go around to it, you won't have to work that hard because now you know how your body's utilizing food. Number eight, budget for your health. I'm 26. I paid a trainer $500 to $600 a month. Well, that was not easy. Not even in the slightest. But the idea is, I knew that was an investment, not a cost. And I want you to remember that because investment is very different. And so when we're talking about budgeting for our health, we're talking about the proper foods that we're gonna be eating, the supplements we're gonna be taking. If you need outside help, just like in a college course, you gotta go find somebody who knows a little bit more than you do. And that's usually gonna cost something. Same thing as photographers. You don't wanna pay the bottom dollar photographer because then you're gonna be pretty mad at your photographer or pretty mad at the pictures that you're getting for your wedding. And so never kind of sell yourself short in that sense. Invest as much as necessary. Not saying dump your whole paycheck into somebody, but budget enough to where you know you're gonna get the proper results. Number 9, the environment. And that's gonna be a very big one, because if your family's not supportive, if your friends aren't supportive, things are gonna get really tough. Now, if you got your fiance backing you the entire way through this process, you're gonna be kicking butt and you're gonna love the way you look during your wedding. So the idea is surround yourself with the right people, and also don't put yourself in bad situations. So, prime example, Saturday night at the nightclub, probably not a good idea to be there when we're trying to lose weight, because there's so many temptations, and not to say that you can't resist those, but it becomes very, very difficult. Number 10, commitment. And that is gonna be number 1 in my book, because if you can't commit to a plan, things aren't gonna work out well. And when it comes to commitment, you have to be 100%. It can't be 1 foot out, 1 foot in. When you're talking about your own health and your own being, you have to give it 100%. And you gotta commit to yourself, you gotta commit time, you gotta commit energy, and you gotta commit to actually becoming a better person.
So there you go. Hopefully those 10 things weren't too overwhelming and he gave it to you in such a way that you were able to understand it. It really helped me. That advice that he just gave you is exactly what he told me about 2 months back, and I'm down 20 pounds for my wedding day. So I do hope that he can help all of you as well. If you do need to contact him at all, I'm gonna put his contact information down in the description. As I said, that is his job full time. So anybody that wants to reach out, feel free to.